Yes, good morning all. Can you all hear me? Is my voice audible or any breaking is happening? Yes, please reply. Audible, right? Okay. So last class we have discussed about the different types of earth work equipments, that is mainly on earth excavating equipment we have discussed, and two of them were that we have discussed was power shovel and backhoe. So power shovel was also called as the front shovel or forward shovel, we can say. Backhoes are the back shovels or backward shovels, right? So back shovels or pull shovel, we can say it. Then power shovel we have discussed. So these two earth excavating equipments, we have discussed its parts, which are the major parts of these equipments, and how it works, how the working of these equipment takes place. One is the forward push, that is outward stroke it is giving, that is the power shovel, while the backhoe pulls inwards towards inward stroke it's given, and it is normally used in higher elevation to excavate lower elevation, while these are normally kept at the lower elevation to excavate higher elevation power shovels. All the functions are similar. It is used for only close range of work only we can use these two equipments. And applications, these can be used for digging of trenches, hard materials, but cannot be used for breaking of rocks or any other very hard materials cannot be broken using these kind of equipments. And crawler mounted backhoes and power shovels can be utilized in rough areas. These are the crawler mounted, can be utilized in the rough stony edge areas, while tired can be used for the smooth surfaces. And we have discussed its advantages and disadvantages, applications, right? For trimming the surface and digging below machine level, all those things. So that was advantages and disadvantages. So applications. And also advantages and disadvantages we have discussed. So today we are going to discuss about remaining two of the earth excavating equipments, that is dragline and clamshell. So first we'll talk about the dragline. So whenever they ask you to draw, explain dragline with a diagram, you have to draw this diagram. So no need to draw it in such a same manner. You can draw a box here and one boom you can draw, and this kind of trusses that you can provide in that inside the boom. Okay, and boom is also connected with a suspension rope. A suspension rope is there which is connecting the boom, and a hoist rope and a drag rope. So this is the operator's cabin. Okay, and there's a bucket. So main points you can note down, that is in this is its main parts are boom, suspension rope, a hoist rope and dragging rope along with the bucket. Okay, so these things you should remember. So how the drag line, the drag line is the so named because of its prominent operation of dragging the bucket against the material to be dug. So the name has based on its function, that is dragging the material, how it works. So the bucket is lowered. Once this bucket, you can see here it's lowered, the drag rope is there, right? And the hoist rope together works to pull and lift the excavated material. So drag line rope is there, you can see here. So this, what does drag rope does is it pulls the bucket towards the cabin, towards inside, and the hoist rope lifts the bucket. Once it drag rope pulls the bucket, the material get excavated in that area, and hoist rope then pulls the bucket towards upward direction, right? That's how the drag line equipment works. So these kind of equipments, unlike this shovel, it is a long light crane boom, and the bucket is loosely attached to the boom through cable. Okay, so because of this construction, a drag line can dig and dump large distance than the shovel can do. So as I told you, in the backhoe and as well as the power shovel, what was we are doing? We were doing the excavation of a short range distance, because the boom size will be less and the bucket will be operating using the only the hoist rope which is present, right? This is the hoist rope. So hoist rope, boom, and the bucket will be operating together for a close range distance of excavation, if you are excavating any close range distances. But when we talk about dragline, this can be utilized to excavate a larger area, larger distance, or long range distance. That is about if you are doing excavation work in mining area, so you have to excavate from a larger distance, and you have to move that excavated material to another point, one point to another point, without moving the equipment. Only this boom will be rotating along with the operator's cabin, so that the bucket will, whatever excavated material gets inside the bucket, tends to rotate and place the dig the material from one point and place it to another point at a long range distance. Draglines are useful for digging below its truck level and handling softer materials. So it is only used for softer materials, while draglines can be utilized for digging below the truck level. That is, it should be at the higher elevation. The equipment should be at a higher elevation. It can dig the below elevation, just like how backhoe does. Backhoe also same thing, right? Backhoe, as I explained, it will be at a higher elevation. The excavation should be at the lower elevation. Similar to that, only draglines also. Only the major difference is it will be utilized for a long range of work. So these are the parts, that is boom, drag cable, drag chain, hoist chain, bucket. Okay. Then application. Dragging softer material and below its truck level, that is, it will be at higher elevation and below truck level, can be excavated. It is very useful for excavating trenches when the sides are permitted to establish their angle of response without shoring. That is, excavating trenches and also moving it from one point to another without any movement of the equipment completely. It has a long reach, larger distance excavation can be done. Excavation of canals and depositing on the embankment without hauling unit. That is, without using any other transportation equipments or hauling equipment, we can transfer the material from one point to another point. So what are the factors controlling the output of a drag line? What are the factors which affects the output of a drag line? The type of material what we are using, the depth of cutting, okay, how much long, how much deep we have to cut the or excavate the material, size and the type of bucket what we are using. Normally, when we talk about drag lines, the bucket size can be varied. We can change the bucket. This, see, you can here see some hooks and all, which is connected with the hoist rope and drag rope, right? So these hooks can be unhooked, and a larger size of bucket can be fixed to the hoist rope and the dragline rope. Okay, a larger size buckets can be fixed to it. So large amount of material can be transferred using this drag line. Skilled operators who are operating the machine also produces some certain difference in the output. Size of hauling unit and method of hauling, that is what is the size of the hauling unit. That is if you are hauling, that means hauling means you're transporting the the excavated material, you're moving from one point to another point. That is known as hauling. The size of hauling unit what you're using, that is the buckets. If you're using buckets, what kind of buckets you're using, larger size or smaller ones. Angle of swing, at what angle you are rotating the drag line, that is a boom, is there, right? At what angle you'll be rotating that. Length of the crane and boom, that is how long the boom is the length of the boom. The length of the boom tells about the length at which the highest excavation work, that is the longest distance at which the excavation work can be carried out, can be determined using the length of the boom. So how much the length of the boom, about that much only the excavation distance can be taken. Okay, and job condition, at what certain condition the work has been carried out. It will be a rainy season, or it will be at a sunny dry area, or it is a damp area, or somewhat like that. So depends upon the job condition. So these are the factors which affect the drag line. Then advantages and disadvantages, you can name the similar advantages and disadvantages. So there is few extra advantages which we can tell about drag line. That is, it can be used for excavating a long range distance. See, the excavating operator is sitting in this area, and excavation can be carried out at this area, larger area. It's a longer distance. It can be carried out. So this is one of the advantages, extra advantage of drag line. Other than that, advantages and disadvantages are most commonly same for all the backhoe and the power shovel as well as drag line. Are you clear with the drag line? So there are mainly in this, there is one hoist rope and dragging rope. Dragging rope is used for the horizontal movement, while the hoist rope is for the lifting and vertical movement. And boom along with the suspension rope enables the angle of swing. At what angle the machine can rotate or the boom can rotate can be determined with the suspension as well as the suspension rope as well as the boom. Are you clear with this? Okay, so the next one we have is clamshell. So you can see how the shape looks. It looks almost like a teeth or a jaw or a shellfish. You have seen fishes and all, right? So it looks almost like that. It has a opening bucket, two buckets which are clamped together, which are joined together. Here it is jointing is there. Two buckets are there, and it is used for excavating larger amount of materials. So this is named due to the resemblance its bucket to a clam. It's looked like a clam, which is like a shellfish, which is hinged to double shell. The front end is essentially a crane boom with specially designed bucket loosely attached at the end through cable as in a drag line. So it is similar to, it can be utilized similar to as a drag line. So here you can see the drag line picture only you can show, but the difference will be that instead of a single bucket, there will be two buckets which will be acting as a clamshell or a shellfish kind of structure, or your jaws you have seen, right? Your jaws and all, how it's just like that. Once how the excavation work is carried out, the bucket is first opened, the two buckets, the clamp bucket is there, right? This clamp bucket is first opened and then penetrated towards the excavation area where it has to be excavated. It is then forced to be pushed to the excavation area. Then the buckets are closed completely. So the materials the excavated material gets stuck inside the clamshell, and then it's lifted and hauled to the place where it has to be deposited. So understood. The bucket is opened. The double-edged bucket is opened. His bucket is opened. Then it is forced to the area where it has to be excavated. Then the buckets are closed. The teeth of this bucket penetrates into the ground, and then the buckets are closed so that the material get excavated and stuck inside the bucket. And then the bucket is lifted using the boom and the hoist, right? Then it is hauled to the place where it has to be deposited. The capacity of clamshell bucket is usually given in cubic meters, and the basic part of the clamshell bucket are the closing line, hoist, shave, buckets, taglines, shell, and hinge. So application, it is used for handling loose material such as crushed stones, sand, gravel, coal, etc. Main feature is vertical lifting of the material from one location to another. So there is no horizontal lifting in this. Horizontal movement is not there. There is only vertical lifting. It is again vertically put downwards and placed downwards and excavated, then vertically lifted upwards and then moved to the place where it has to be deposited. So only vertical movement can be seen in this, no horizontal excavation. So at the areas like this, you just imagine you want to excavate only a small portion of area and you don't want to drag it towards the equipment or make more mess in that area. Only that much area you have to excavate. So such kind of clamshell can be used. Only it can penetrate in and dig a trench and lift it up. It is not affecting the surrounding area. While these drag line, power shovels and the backhoes and all also disturbs the other areas where the excavation work is carried out. While the clamshell doesn't do that. Okay. Mainly used for removing material from coffer dams, sewer main holes, well foundations, etc. That means where and all the materials has to be sludge materials or the or waste materials has to be removed without affecting the surrounding. Such kind of clamshell equipment can be utilized. So you can see this is a picture of a clamshell. Once it has been excavated in this area, then it can be lifted vertically upwards and then rotated to the place where it has to be deposited. So that was all about the main four earth excavating equipments. So we'll see the comparison between different types of equipment. I want you all to make a note of this. If possible, take a screenshot or else make a note of this thing. This is very important. They might ask you, write down the comparison between different types of equipment, that is excavating equipments. So there is power shovel, backhoe, drag line, and clamshell. So how we can compare that? First one is excavation of hard soil or rocks. Power shovel and backhoes can do a good removal of hard rocks and hard materials can be removed using power shovel. A good amount of material can be removed from power shovel and backhoe. But dragline is very poor at that, not so good, and clamshell is very poor at removing hard rocks. Excavation in wet soil and mud. So wet soil and mud, power shovel and backhoe is not so good. Why? Because when you use power shovel and backhoe for removing wet soil and mud, there will be some material which will not be accumulated inside the bucket. When you try to drag it, or outstroke is given or inward stroke is given, the large amount of material will not be excavated using power shovel, because there will be some materials getting passed out from the bucket because of its condition, that is a wet soil condition. The materials will not completely be inside the bucket of the power shovel and backhoe, right? It will be giving an outstroke or an instroke. But during that time, while excavating, what happens is the material will not completely be accumulated inside the bucket. It will try to fall out of the bucket because of the horizontal dragging movement, right? That's why it is giving a poor condition for excavation of wet soil and mud. But it is dragline is moderately good because there is an horizontal movement, and also clamshell is also moderately good because it gives a complete horizontal movement without a dragging movement, right? Then distance between footing and digging. That means it can be utilized for small range distance and all. That is power shovel and backhoes are normally utilized for small range excavations, while the dragline and clamshell is used for long range excavations. Loading efficiency. How much amount of materials can be loaded? Power shovel and backhoes can take larger amount of materials moderately, and while dragline is moderately good, while clamshells precisely but precise but slow it is, because the what will say it will take longer time for the buckets to open, then close, then remove vertically. While this there is no other extra work carried out here. They will be doing only a dragging moment will be there for the power shovel, backhoe, as well as drag line. Footing required. Close to the work, close to the pit, fairly away from the pit, and the clamshells also fairly away from the pit where the equipments are placed. It is normally placed close to the area of pit or the work. It is also close to the pit where the work is being carried out. It can these both equipments can be kept at a far range. Digging level, digs at the above footing level. That is, the equipment will be kept at a lower elevation, and the excavation can be carried out the higher elevation. This is the equipment will be kept at a lower elevation and higher elevation, and the digging will be carried at a footing level, that is below elevation, below the equipment. Digging below the footing, same as that of backhoe. Digging at or below the footing level. These three will be showing the digging below the footing level, since the equipment will be kept at a higher elevation, while the power shovel, since it's giving an outward stroke, normally the equipment will be kept at a lower elevation and the work will be carried above the footing level. Okay, the cycle time short. Since the work will be carried out very fast, the equipment cycle time again and again, the excavation work time required will be very short, shortly more than the power shovel, more than the power shovel. The time required, the cycle time is more than the power shovel, more than the other equipment. So clamshell takes the largest time, since the working of the clamshell takes a larger time, because it has to first open the bucket, then it has to be placed to the ground, and the teeth of the bucket has to penetrate into the ground. Once it has been done, then the bucket has to be closed, then it has to be lifted upwards. While others, all these three equipments, there is no opening of the bucket or closing of the bucket. Direct dragging is taking place in these three types of equipments. Are you clear with this? Any doubts you have? Anyone? Any doubts? Please reply. Are you clear with this comparison between different types of excavating equipments? Yes? Just take a screenshot or write down these points. Please make a note of these points. It's very important. So these points itself, you can use it as the advantages and disadvantages for the particular equipments. Excavation is good. That's an advantage. Excavation of hard soil is good. It's an advantage. Backhoe also gives the same thing, advantage. While the excavation of hard soil is not possible. That is a disadvantage. You can write these points also as advantages and disadvantages, right? Are you clear? Please reply. Okay, the next one is excavating and earth moving equipments. Okay, so this is second type of earth moving equipments or earthwork equipments. So classification, as I told you in the beginning, the earthwork equipments can be classified into two categories. One is earth excavating equipments and another one is excavating and earth moving equipments. That was the first two classification, right? So excavating and earth moving equipments include motor graders, scrappers, bulldozers, and tractors. Okay, motor graders, scrappers, bulldozers, and tractors. So this one, the picture here shows the picture of a motor grader. So when they ask you draw a diagram for motor grader, you have to draw a line diagram of this one. So you can see here, this one, this part, it's a grading part which is present at between the equipment. So they may be either towards towed or motorized, usually self propulsive. That means these equipments can be self motored, or it has its own engine, or else it can provide engine from other vehicle. That means only this much part will be available, and engine can be then fixed to this part and it can be utilized. So it can be either towed or motorized. It can be usually self propulsive. The construction, so the front of the grader frame there is supported on a pair of front wheels, and rear on the rear on a tandem wheel. So this one you can see the rear one is a tandem wheel, that is double axle wheels are provided, while the front wheel is supported with a single axle wheel. And the in between part of the grader you can see here, which is used for normally for the purpose of leveling of ground. You have seen the road construction and all. This kind of motor grader material will be used so as to level the ground once the materials have been laid, or for removal of any plantation on the ground, like greenery or some plantation which is over the ground, small plants which are growing over the ground. To remove that, these motor graders can be utilized. The curved blade is supported in the circle and be turned through 360-degree. So just a second. So here you can see this part. This is the blade which is present at the center, in between the axle, the single axle wheel and the tandem wheel. And this part is in circular shape. That means I'll draw a cross section and show you. So this is the front tire. These are the back tires, tandem wheels, which are provided. And here the equipment will be, the blade will be in such a position, it will be attached to a circular part, a circular section. This will be a blade at the center. The blade, this is the blade which will be present at the center. So this circular portion which is present at the center of this is the above view, that is the top view. From I'm showing a top view or a bottom view, you can take top or bottom view of this particular equipment, top view or bottom view. So it will have a circular part which is fixed to a circular axis which is fixed to a blade here, and it can rotate in 360 degree. That means the blade can rotate like this, like this, like this, like this. In any angle it can rotate, right? It can tilt in any angle it wants. So that is the point which is mentioned here. The curved blade is supported to the circle and can be turned through 360 degree. The blade has replaceable edges. The edges can be replaced. The cutting depth is 2 to 4 centimeters. The cutting depth, that is the blade which is present, the blade's cutting depth will be 2 to 4 centimeter. And the speed is dependent. For light duty, it is 6 to 10 kilometer per hour. For heavy duty motor graders, that is 2 to 3 kilometer per hour. And for normal duty, it is 4 to 6 kilometer per hour. So that is the speed of this particular equipment, that is motor grader. And uses, it is used for, as I told you, it is used for gravel road repairing, that is for road works and all, bank cutting, base course spreading, that is whatever the course base course which has to be provided over the ground, we can spread it using, equally spread it using this motor graders. Snow or land clearance, that means snow materials, doing snowy areas, clearing the land, we can use motor graders. This blade can be utilized for removing the snow. Also for land clearance, that is if any vegetation or any material which is growing over the land can be removed. Road shoulder reshaping, ditch filling, material mixing, okay, frozen topsoil, asphalt breaking, all those things. These are the uses, application where the motor grader can be utilized. So that was about motor grader. So always remember, this blade can be rotated in 360 degree. Also it can be tilted. In few of the motor graders, this can be tilted, that is towards this side or towards upward direction or towards downward direction. It can be tilted based on the requirement. Then we have scrappers. So scrapper is also an earth moving equipment, excavating and moving. So this is, motor grader is earth excavating, also earth moving. That is whatever the materials which will be carried out through this blade can be transferred or moved. Similarly, scrapper is also a kind of earth excavating as well as earth moving equipment. So compromises between best loading and best hauling machines. So how this works, you can see here the cutting edge, right? So the machine will be moved towards this direction, and this cutting edge is placed towards the ground, down to the ground, to the ground. This is the ground, and the materials whatever gets excavated or digged from the ground, those materials will be deposited inside this cylinder. That is this box container, you can see, bowl, you can see, it will be deposited inside this bowl or the container, right? Then this is transferred from one point to another point. Once how much amount of the material is required is known, or this bowl is completely filled, then it is lifted upwards. That is, the cutting edge then is lifted above the ground. First it will be placed towards the ground, then it will be lifted above the ground once the bowl is completely filled with the excavated material. And the scrapper is then moved. It can be crawler tractor pulled or wheel tractor pulled. That is, the tires can be either be jointed using a tractor engine which is wheeled, or it can be a crawler mounted. That is, this kind of machine is used for long distance hauling of short materials, not large amount of material. A small amount of material can be present inside the bowl once it gets excavated, and it can be used for hauling to a longer distance. So this is the diagram for a scraper. You can see this is the scraper portion, and this is a tractor which can be attached to the scraper. Some of the tractors will be already attached to the scrappers, that is which cannot be separated, but there are some scrappers which require another engine or tractor engine to carry the scraper. Okay, so capacity of the hip capacity of the bowl, that is capacity varies based on the type of the scraper what we are using. It can be, if it is a self-propulsive machine, that is a scraper that we are using, that means it has its own engine, then the capacity of the bowl which is present for the scraper will be very less, while the scraper is separately provided for us and we require separate engine to provide to make use of that scraper, then the scraper bowl capacity will be larger. While digging and cutting edges enter into the ground by lowering the bowl. So this is a working, how the operation that I told, as I told you now. It is bowl, the bowl is lowered, that is the cutting edge is lowered, and the whatever the materials which get excavated is then put placed inside the bowl. So that was about the scraper. So we'll end today's session here itself. So we discussed what are the different types of earth excavating equipments completely we have done. Earth excavating equipments are finished completely. That is power shovel, backhoe, dragline, and clamshell is done. So don't get confused. Whenever they ask you earth excavating equipments, you have to write these four only. Explain about these four only. And when they ask you earth excavating and moving equipments, earth moving and earth excavating together, that is earth excavating and moving, or else just they ask you earth moving, you have to write these four. Okay, now in this I have explained about motor graders and scrappers. So bulldozers and the tractors I'll be discussing in the next class. So we'll end today's session here itself. Charan, are you there?
Yes, sir.
I just take the attendance. So if you have any doubt, anything regarding this, you can contact me. I'll be sharing you the notes of this in detail notes I have. So I'll be sharing you this once we have finished with the module. Once we finish the second module, I'll be sharing you the notes. And once we finish with the equipments and all, then last topic which is remaining will be the money management, that is monetary management, money in terms of money, how to manage the money, that we'll be discussing, and we'll be finishing of the theory part of the second module. Then we'll move on to the problem part. Okay, I think mostly within 2 classes I can finish all the theory part. Then I'll start with the problems on second module. Is it done, Charan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you everyone.